The Trump administration will appeal a court decision that could hold it in contempt for violating a judge's order over the deportation of alleged gang members to a notorious foreign prison. The US district judge has found probable cause exists to hold officials to account for going against his orders and rushing deportees out of the country under the 1798 Alien Enemies Act. Last month, more than 200 migrants were flown to the mega prison in El Salvador, despite the judge ordering the planes be turned around. The administration argues it did not violate any orders, given the flights had already taken off when the order came down.
Courts are thankfully standing up to the president and saying, no, you can't act unlawfully. Yes, you can deport people who are actually deportable if you provide them with process and the like. But you can't spirit people off using a law that doesn't apply. And I think what we should be proud of here is that courts are standing up to the president and his administration when they violate the law in enforcing our immigration policy.
El Salvador's president is working with the United States, with many of the detainees paraded before the cameras when they were deported last month. They're alleged to be members of a Venezuelan gang known as MS-13. But their lawyers and family members insist they were never given a chance to contest that claim. The White House has conceded that the wrongful deportation of one of the men, Kilmar Rego Garcia, was an administrative error. But it continues to double down, and both El Salvador and the US have no plans to return him.
Nothing will change the fact that Abrego Garcia will never be a Maryland father. He will never live in the United States of America again. And the United States Supreme Court ruled unanimously that the President of the United States and the Secretary of State could not be compelled to forcibly retrieve this citizen of El Salvador who is currently locked up in a maximum security prison in his home country due to his MS-13 membership.
29-year-old Garcia lived in the US for more than a decade. Court records show he worked in construction, is married and had 3 children. Officials say he was deported based on a 2019 accusation from police in Maryland that he was an MS-13 gang member. He was never charged with a crime. A Democratic senator for the state says he was blocked from visiting the wrongly deported and still detained inmate in El Salvador.
President Trump and our Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Vice President of the United States are lying when they say that Abrego Garcia has been charged with a crime or is part of MS-13. That is a lie. I may be the first United States senator to visit El Salvador on this issue, but there will be more.
Senator Van Hollen is facing criticism for his trip to the Central American country. The Trump administration is now facing more than 150 legal challenges to its hardline immigration agenda, and it continues to justify its actions despite court orders. Appearing alongside the White House press secretary in Washington was Patty Moran, the mother of a Maryland woman who was killed by a fugitive from El Salvador 2 years ago.
Why are we not protecting our children? And to have a senator from Maryland who didn't even acknowledge or barely acknowledged my daughter and the brutal death that she endured so that he can use my taxpayer money to fly to El Salvador to bring back someone that's not even an American citizen.